Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. Everybody's doing it from home again this week, but we're glad to be back from our Christmas vacation. I hope everybody had a good Christmas vacation. With me today, my main man, Willie Guns.
You.
And
What's
my
up?
main man, Joseph Francis Marks.
Oh, full name. Thank you.
Full name, and you're not in trouble, so don't worry about it. Before we jump into the show, got a couple of things I want to go over real quick. Let's start first and foremost with Fan Tees. You get 20% off Fan Tees with the Edge of Philly promo code. Obviously, you can see some of the sample shirts up there, man. Fan Tees got some awesome stuff for every sports fan in your household. And if you're going to pick up one of those shirts, you should pick up one of the Edge of Philly sports hats to go along with it. They come in 4 awesome colors. I myself have the green and cream colored one, but they come in black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. Let's go Flyers.
That green one's hot. That green one's nice. That green one is nice.
I love it. Let's get into some of the other shows on our network real quick here. My two of my favorite guys, Bill and Jim Chetchesko, over at Philly Press Box Radio. We have Bird's IQ with Eric and Kyle Quinn. Of course, the Edge of Philly Sports Show with Big Al, Joe Sheeran, and my main man, Freddie. The Broad Street Bullies podcast, they have a huge show coming up this week. Some of the guests, you got James Bascal from Flyers Nitty Gritty, Angry Jim from High and Wide Radio, Big Al from EOP is going to be on there, and Bill Matz from SB Nation Broad Street Hockey is going to be on there as well. So they have a huge show coming up this week. So please check those guys out. And before we get into our business, can't forget the guys over at Lax Philly with Kevin and Gary. Anything lacrosse you want, those guys got. With that said, gentlemen, no show prep this week. Couldn't find it.
They don't need it.
We're shooting from the hip.
It. Tom, we don't have bosses, bro. We do what we want to do.
I understand that, Will.
Enjoy.
Being the guy that's had to
deal
with everyone doing they want to do, doing what they want to do for the last couple of years.
Be blessed. That's it.
What are you, crushing a brewski over there?
Nah, it's just a Diet Coke, man.
No, I'm kidding. I know. You're a diet soda.
I just saw a red Solo cup. I thought the same thing.
I got one of these, which, by the way, babe,
I don't know what kind of immune system I have right now. So I'm cool. Nice. Hey, there you go. Gotta have something to drink. Especially when we're going to sit there talking sports.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Gotta have something.
Well, look, let's get into it. I do know where the general direction in which my show prep was going to send me anyway. We can finally put this Eagles season to bed. Before I do that, let me put the comments up here too, in case we got anybody commenting there. You feel free to comment.
That's so depressing, man.
We will try and respond to them. Listen, before I do that.
So depressing. That just sounded so depressing.
It is, but hold on, because I want to go somewhere else first. This season was a disappointment, to say the least. 4-11-1 isn't how anybody anticipated this season going. I want you to take a second. You're allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be upset. But I want you to take a second and go back in your head to February of 2018. How you felt after they won the Super Bowl. How you felt the day of the parade, and the three of us were obviously together the day of the parade.
Yeah, we were.
Experiencing that with your family and your friends, and that is the reason. Going through seasons like 4-11-1, that made it all worth it. That made all the 4-11-1s before that, and the ones that'll be after that worth it to me. Now. I'm still Jason Pizzetti checks in.
You gotta be excited. All it is you gotta be excited. That's it. Just get excited for your team. And it was a tough year, but you know what? I'm excited. Got a 6th pick. Got a nice cornerback, possibly wide receiver, quarterback. They're saying because
let's get it. Yeah, I heard quarterback too.
Let's get into that. There's a really good one there. You never know. You know what I mean?
Let's get into that 6th pick. Are you afraid that they're going to butcher it?
Yes. Absolutely. Not a question.
Scared.
If Howie Roseman is here,
scared.
if Howie Roseman is here, we will have the worst sixth pick in the last 20 years of the NFL draft. The worst sixth pick. Because my feeling is that there are people there that are talented, but we're going to pass up on them because we think we're smarter than everyone else.
Did you see the stats on this Heisman Trophy winner that we could possibly get? If he's there at 6, you take him.
And he's the first receiver to win the Heisman since Desmond Howard in 1988.
Take him. That's it.
Not 88. 98, I think.
What quarterback? Yeah, what quarterback threw to Ortega-Whiteside in college?
Nobody of importance. Nobody of importance. Bro. I mean, that's the problem.
Like, how did they figure out that dude's a talent at all? Like Howie Roseman shit the bed. He shit the bed.
Here's where I defended Jalen Hurts, and this is where I kind of go off the rails with Carson Wentz. What kind of competition level did Carson Wentz have at his college level?
Probably not that high.
Right. What did Jalen Hurts is
a lot
competition level? Right. Right. He went to Alabama and he played the quarterback rooms that he's been a part of in his college career have been outstanding. So the amount of knowledge that he has had to matriculate into his head because of the quarterback rooms, right? He'll figure out how to fix himself, how to fix the problems, how to fix the losing. Ken Carson, I don't know.
I'm to the point where I don't care what the hell they do. I really don't even care. I honest to God don't care. Just give me whatever shit you're going to give me, whether you're going to trade Wentz away or you're going to keep them both. Let them battle. I don't care what they do as long as they pick the right quarterback. That's it.
Listen, they're not going to draft the quarterback.
A ball out in preseason. That's it. That's what you do. You use preseason to your advantage.
That's funny that you guys bring that up. James Frattoni just said, watch, they will draft a QB again.
The Fields is going to go, and
you never know, Tom.
And Trevor Lawrence is going to go 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So then you're stuck with Trask, and I don't think Trask is the guy that is from another Dakota quarterback like Carson Wentz, and then you're stuck with those two guys. I think.
Then there's a possibility that Howie would trade up the 6th pick. Trade that 6th pick up.
I feel like I'm in the minority.
Something even better. You
I feel like I'm in the minority. When it comes to this draft, man. I feel like they trade down to expand the draft, trade down a couple spots, and they draft one of the 2 top running backs in either Najee Harris or Etienne.
Give me 1 second, Joe. James, type in your Facebook groups, and I'll share them on here so that people can see them and join your groups. Sorry, Joey, go ahead.
Well, they said Carson Wentz is close as hell with the friggin' owner.
Well,
so he's close with Jeffrey Lurie. Lurie's going to do whatever he's got to do to make sure that Carson gets what he wants. If Carson wants that starting rollback, he will give it to him. I'm telling you right now, man. It might result in Doug Peterson gone.
If you define your ownership as an owner, if you define your franchise by what your starting quarterback says, then you've already lost the whole locker room because you're.
That's what happened with T.O. They didn't do that with T.O. when he demanded more money. They didn't do that. So this would go against how they've acted in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he's close with the organization. He's close with
the reason why I
let him go for a bag of donuts.
The reason why I would draft a running back is to kind of help Will's point with Carson. Put Najee Harris or Etienne with Miles Sanders, and you run the ball more. You have an identity, and it protects Carson. It protects Jalen.
That is nice.
Yeah.
You leave it alone. You leave the quarterback situation alone and help with the inadequacies that your team already has. Offensive line. I don't know how
honest to God, I don't even care what they do. I'm dead serious with you.
Well,
I'm done, Joey. I'm done worrying about the team that much. I watch football, okay? I don't need
done?
to pay attention with the stupid ass moves that Howie Roseman has made, and I got to see it again. All I want to do is watch football. I'm sick and tired of having to worry what my GM should be doing. We should be able to just enjoy the friggin' game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're right.
The fact
Al,
that we have it's not right.
That brings me
it's not fair.
That brings me to my first question.
Oh, you found it.
What I have written down currently. What person do you blame?
Because once again, Howie Roseman is close. He's close with Jeffrey Lurie.
What person do you guys blame for this 4-11-1 season?
Oh, God.
Or is there a slew of people that you blame? Or is there one individual? Or is there nobody?
I got a list. I'd
like you to check it twice, Santa Joe.
But injuries.
They don't get cold.
Injuries are huge. Offensive line.
But every team has injuries.
Jalen Reagor getting injured early. Like they didn't even get a chance to bond quick. Him and Jalen Reagor. So the kid was in there. Boom, nice catch. Boom, done. Then he had to wait 5 games.
Guns. So here's my question. So every team has injuries. My question to you is: in the 17-18 season where they won the Super Bowl, they had a ton of key injuries. So what's the difference between that team and this team? Other than probably the locker room.
Coaching.
Hart, a little more. They were a little younger. They were a little younger as far as the guys that are there now. So you had those same guys that you have now, but back then they were younger and better. Maybe a lot of our guys are past their primes, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
a lot of them were past their prime. You think
maybe
Fletcher
a lot
Cox
of them
is going to be
don't
able
have
to?
prime.
Fletcher Cox is getting double teamed so much, dude. And eventually, that takes a toll on you, man.
Yeah, you gotta stop making excuses for the same old excuses.
He dominates a football game. He dominates a football game.
You two are awesome. You're already on fire this morning.
You gotta stop making the same excuses.
And the linebackers,
Fletcher Cox get double teamed.
The linebackers.
Yes, I've been saying that. But you can't make the same excuses about Fletcher Cox being double teamed and how the offensive line is inadequate and how the linebacking crew is inadequate.
Joe, let me hear your list. Let me hear your list.
I think a Whiteside sucks.
Well,
another wasted draft pick.
My list starts with Howie because it starts from the top and it comes down.
Okay.
It starts with Howie and then it continues with the cattle cave of offensive coordinator.
I thought we should have traded up. Got CeeDee Lamb. I wanted him bad.
And then it comes down to offensive coordinators. We have 13 offensive coordinators. How many people do you need to call one play? Pick a guy that you know will be innovative with your offense.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson abandons the run too much, man. His offense sucks. You know what I'm saying?
What?
You got Miles Sanders. He abandons the run. Give the ball to Miles Sanders.
Well, that's why I'm saying they should draft the running back, because if you pair Miles with another running back, that offensive line can actually block.
Yeah, but what round do you draft a running back in?
I would draft him late first round. You get Najee Harris or Etienne.
Go ahead, Will.
If you run the ball a lot, Tom, in a football game, doesn't that make your play action really dangerous? That's what Carson Wentz has capabilities.
It establishes the play action.
But it also protects the quarterback.
Right.
And Carson Wentz has a high percentage of fucking play action, dude. I'm dead serious. I've seen it.
I don't
disagree.
You go back to
but we don't run the damn ball. You
go back to that Super Bowl season, Tom, and you got to think about the running back crew that we had.
LeGarrette Blount,
Ajayi, Clement, and that guy that came from Walmart, Smallwood.
I never liked him.
Oh my God, that's depressing. Going back on those days.
No offense, but
I mean, here's the thing: is we had a crew that could run the ball consistently. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm sure that we ran the ball more than 25 times a game during that season. And I could tell you this right now, the difference in protection, I don't understand, because it seems like an outlier that this offensive line is better when blocking for the run than they are when they're blocking for the pass.
That's all offensive lines. Every offensive lineman will tell you that they'd rather come off the snap, smashing somebody in the face than rocking back on their heels and trying to block somebody. Every old lineman will tell you that.
Okay. So then that's
what makes the run dangerous. You have to run the football, I'm telling you. These damn coaches that you have to run the football to win in the NFL.
Look at you guys can see the bottom of your screen what Al said. No running backs if Peterson is still here. I believe that, man. I believe that he is a disciple of Andy and he will abandon the run in a heartbeat.
But what about the 2 or 3 games in the last 10 games? There were 2 or 3 consistent games in a row that he ran the ball at least 30 times.
Yeah, and they won that every game.
He should.
Agreed.
If it's a formula for winning, I don't understand why you wouldn't. That's just my opinion. I mean, if it's a formula for winning,
sounds like Al's enjoying the show right now.
Absolutely. He hopes that all our running backs are going except for Sanders starting.
I agree.
Yeah, same here.
I agree.
I will say this.
I love Miles Sanders. Give him the damn football. Oh,
I have been a Doug Peterson apologist in the past. After that Washington game, I'm not so much of an apologist anymore because that's an embarrassment. How do you know that this guy's has not lost the locker room for what comes next season? You purposely lost the game. I don't care if he said he didn't tank the game. He tanked the game. It's not.
Yes, he did.
You're seeing reports that him and Carson's relationship are fractured. The Eagles and Carson's relationship are fractured. Let me
Is it time to blow up the team?
What's that?
Is it time to blow up the team?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But in a good direction, though, man. You can still
we're a year or
all the time play Madden. Me and you. Imagine us really running this team right now. We would figure it out, dude. So Howie Roseman needs to learn how to do his fucking job. That's what he needs to learn how to do.
Can I just get a seat in one of the boxes? If you two are the owners of the team, can
fire Doug Peterson, definitely.
Open bar, too.
Want to rebuild the team? This is probably that would blow up the team, though. If you did fire Doug Peterson, or do you agree as the owner when you get a new head coach that this is the team I want? I just think that you need to do a better job of Doug Peterson. So whether I need Lori needs to say as the owner, I want a running team that can pass the friggin' football. That's what I want. You get
so
what I'm
as far from
That's exactly what I want.
Al's all over the text board today. Al Safari's checking in saying Howie already blew up this team.
He needs to go.
I don't disagree. Up until last year coming into this year and this year, I would always say don't get rid of Howie completely. He's a great numbers guy, but he proved that some of the deals he's done are really going to hamstring the Eagles in the 2021-22 campaign here.
Well, I'll also respond to Alan this way. Was it all Howie, or was it Jeffrey letting Joe Douglas go and not trying to coax him to stay and keep the winning formula that was already here? We had the winning formula because we won the Super Bowl. Why would it be so difficult for ownership to step in and say, I don't want you to go?
In my opinion,
because they're close.
To answer your question,
they're close.
Joe Douglas went from assistant GM to a GM spot. So it's going to be hard. He wasn't going to move Howie over to put Joe Douglas as GM of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Douglas had an opportunity to get the full-blown GM spot. And if I was him, I would have taken it also.
It's insane.
Howie, Al says, smartest man in the room. Man, Al, do you like Howie?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
I don't think he does.
I don't think so.
I hate Odega Whiteside. Come on, that's not my number one thing I always say. Because you could have had DK frigging Metcalf to throw to. Carson Wentz probably hates. Carson Wentz probably hates Howie Roseman. How about that?
No, listen.
I bet he does.
Isn't this a hindsight is 2020? Isn't this a hindsight is 2020 thing with these receivers? The Lambs, the Metcalfs.
No. I called Justin Jefferson on night 2, and everyone kept thinking, right, but everyone said Jalen Reagor's faster than his 40-time shows. Okay, but he's still a small body, and he didn't play against high-level competition. Justin Jefferson played in the SEC where he had high-level competition. He played against NFL caliber cornerbacks.
Yeah, and then when we drafted Jalen Reagor, I lost it. I got so pissed off. But then I seen some of his highlights, and I thought, well, that's what I got to deal with. That's what I got to deal with. But yeah, most definitely, I would have drafted Jefferson in a heartbeat. Well, I don't need to be. I didn't want Jalen Reagor. I wanted Jefferson just like you did, Joey.
It's not.
I wanted CeeDee Lamb. I wanted CeeDee Lamb, but I would have took either one.
Well, here's the thing: we weren't going to get
Jefferson.
Let's be clear: we weren't going to get CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb went the pick
if
before
you trade
us.
up, if you traded up,
right? Yeah,
traded up.
But how much would it have cost you? We did that to Dallas before to get
with
Dallas Goedert. Yeah, but how much would it have cost you to get CeeDee Lamb? Now, look, would the dividends have paid out in the end? Sure, but
maybe
but. You're talking about trading up. You don't know how much you would have.
You got to take it. You also got to take into consideration that it's Kirk Cousins that throws to Justin Jefferson, correct?
Yes.
Correct. So let's swap it out and let's give Kirk Cousins Jalen Reagor, and then we have Justin Jefferson, right? You look at that. Do you think that Jalen Reagor would have been better with Kirk Cousins thrown to him? Because Wentz couldn't find friggin' anybody this year.
No, because they traded Stephon Diggs.
No, you want to be honest?
No, they traded a guy like Reagor, Stephon Diggs, to the Bills. So they let him go.
No. We're a death pit right now for drafting wide receivers. So when someone gets drafted here,
right now,
Devontae Smith's probably shitting his ass like, damn it. You know what I mean? Or is he licking his chops? That's another thing. You got to think about that. Is Devontae Smith interested? Has he showed interest that being talked about being a Heisman Trophy winner? What team would he like to go to? Has he said anything?
Will, you're acting like it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to be smart enough to draft Devontae Smith.
You have to. You have
to.
He
said this thing about so many other players. We said that about so many other players. How can you make it?
He's faced elite competition. He's faced elite competition, and I'm gonna give that kid Carson Wentz. That's really pissed off. If we can't trade Carson Wentz, other than that, the kid might get Jalen Hurts.
You're not trading Carson Wentz.
I don't know.
Let's get off that boat. We're not trading Carson Wentz. Everyone,
no one knows anything.
We'll come back to that. So our buddy Deal checks in on the text board. He says, if Doug didn't tank the game, everybody would be screaming that he moved the team further from a good draft pick. Would your thoughts of him be different if he just came out and said, yep, I lost that one on purpose? It's a good topic to kind of jump into.
Yeah, he can't never admit it. He can't.
I would.
It would blow shit up. You can't. That's like you commit. That's like you did. Like
you don't think there's players
at minimum. You would incur fines from the league.
Wow. Yeah.
They thought it would be.
They thought about punishing the Eagles anyhow. The leagues thought about punishing the Eagles anyhow by taking draft picks. That was three articles.
Maybe they'd be helping if Howie is still the GM by taking draft picks away.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious what Doug did, man. It's a big fuck you. That's what it is to the NFL. Good job, Doug.
Here's the thing.
That game. You needed to lose. There was no reason to win that game. I can give a rat's ass where Dallas, the Giants, or Washington football team goes.
Here's the thing.
Eagles. I ain't helping nobody.
Here's the thing.
He probably helped Ron Rivera because he knows Ron Rivera and he's close with him. Because even Ron Rivera said it. The win's a win. I'm not complaining. Right?
You're saying you did a solid favor for Ron Rivera. Okay, that's lofty. But here's the thing: is you don't think
You got
you
the
don't
sixth
think?
pick now. You can get the.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about a difference, right? But you're talking about the difference of three picks. You could add you got a 6. You could add a 9 if you won the game. But here's the difference.
No way. I don't want no 9, bro. I want 6, man. This is a pointless game to win. That would have been so pointless to win.
What happens?
Doug saved our lives.
What happens when you go back next season? What happens next season when you have some of those players in that locker room? Are they going to listen to you? Because the last game that you went on the field with that coach, you tanked. Like you went out purposely lose. So those guys
ruined his season. Ruined his season.
Right. No, but how are you supposed to start over next season with those other players and start anew if you already kind of ruined their morale with that last game?
Yeah.
No, so Pez Doc checks in. Looks like on YouTube here. Winning formula, ? That Super Bowl season was a fluke. They'll never win with anyone on this team or in this organization right now.
Well, they did. They did have a winning formula, though.
I don't necessarily disagree with the way it's currently constructed.
Winning formula. You won the Super Bowl. You beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. You did something right. Carson Wentz had MVP that year. Nick Foles came in as a backup and played like God against Minnesota.
Last time I checked,
he played like God in the Super Bowl too. So winning formula, there is no, to be honest with you, because football players are football players.
Last time I checked,
was those guys played for each other. That's what they did. Those guys played. Kelsey being younger and all that stuff.
Last time I checked, at least a third of this roster had a Super Bowl ring. Last time I checked, a third of the roster had a Super Bowl ring. So that at least tells me they have somewhat of a formula on this roster.
And that third of a roster was on a 4-11-1 team this year.
It depends on what you call the winning formula. What's the winning formula anyway? Great GM?
Well, no.
We don't have that, so it's not that. It's not that.
I'm saying, Tom asked me what is missing from this team that we had during the Super Bowl season.
And Joey said coaching, and he's very right. Yeah.
And my point is that third of a team that has Super Bowl rings on this team currently, they don't have the coaching to surround themselves.
The season after the Super Bowl, what person sitting on this panel was saying you're really going to miss Frank Reich and DiFilippo when they're gone? Oh, I wonder what guy.
Maybe the guy who just said it. You know, maybe the guy who just kind of pointed it out.
Maybe it sure seems that way.
I forget some things, but definitely TK. I remember that one.
I was on my soapbox with that one.
But you weren't going to be able to hold on to Frank Reich. You weren't going to be able to.
But see, why wouldn't you be able to? That's the reason. Is because he went to be a head coach. I mean, I get that the promotion is there, but has he won, or is he closer to winning a Super Bowl where he is?
Do you think that Doug Peterson?
Right.
He's in the playoffs today.
Right, but is he closer? Do you see the Colts as a Super Bowl team?
More than the Eagles right now. They're in the playoffs. The Eagles aren't.
It's just plain and simple. Run the damn football. That's it.
Eagles were in the playoffs last year.
Listen. Let's go really far back to a dominating team that we all watched on TV because they were our divisional opponent. That was the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, and I grew up with a brother that was a Cowboys fan, so I know a lot about great.
Did you just call the Dallas Cowboys dominant? Because I'm going to smack the living hell out of you.
Emmitt Smith, when he was winning Russian titles, and they constantly ran.
Now we're living in the past.
Owen threw it. Dude, that team dominated, Joey. You got to give credit where credit's due.
But we're not living in the 90s anymore. We're not living in the 90s anymore. Get over it.
That's what football does. That's what running the football does.
So let's look at what Al Zafari is on fire today. I appreciate you.
Want to be on our show?
I appreciate you chiming in, Al. They may still have some of the ingredients, but they lost the recipe. Man, if that's not a poignant point.
Well, the coaches had the recipe.
Peterson. He's going at Howie Roseman for drafting and signing free agents, and he's also going after Doug Peterson on that because Doug Peterson is a bad play caller, a bad clock management, anything. Timeouts he's bad with anymore. Call for two. He keeps doing that for no reason. His kicker sucks. His kicker can't make a field goal. His kicker's like, what happened?
Hey, Joey.
Joey,
remember the ingredients in the brownies are really important. You know what I'm saying? When you're cooking, when you're a chef in the kitchen, you know what I mean.
You sure you didn't put them in the cookies? We haven't let the kids have cookies.
It's crazy. It's insane, man. I'm telling you. It just bothers me so much. But I don't care. Like I said, I just want to see what they do.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys a question.
They better do something. They better do something.
Let me ask you a question. If Doug was removed as head coach tomorrow, who would you want? Which person out there that's a free agent head coach? Which player would you want to come in and take over the reins?
Joe, you got to be really proud of me and Will's adultness right now. We just mouthed.
I know.
And Will's laughing. I don't know off the top of my head.
Repeat that. Repeat it in a better way, Joey, because you know the answer already. I want to hear your answer first. I want to hear yours first.
Yeah, Dan, spin that question around to you, Joe. I would like to hear. Do you have any in mind?
You first.
Well, I said it at a couple of shows ago. Eric D'Anemi would be someone I'd be really interested in bringing in because I feel like if you're talking about a guy who's
what's his credentials? I don't know. I don't know what person that is.
Pat Mahomes is offensive coordinator at Kansas City.
Wow. So you're saying bring him in as a head coach,
Doug, isn't it?
Or an offensive coordinator, or you're bringing him head coach.
No, I said
do that.
The question is, if Doug Peterson was fired tomorrow, which person would I bring in to replace Doug Peterson?
Nice. What Chiefs offensive coordinator? Wow,
that's not a bad one. Anybody on the text board want to chime in on Joey's question too, as in what person you would bring in? That absolutely.
If Doug was fired tomorrow,
which
player would you bring in?
What about Deuce?
A player coach, whatever it is, and it's a former Eagle. It's a former Eagle. That's what I would.
What about Deuce? He's already the assistant head coach.
Can he handle more than the run game?
Listen, you hire Seth Joyner as your linebackers coach. That's what he wants to do. He said he'd like to coach the Eagles linebackers. That's what he said. He would like to do that. He already
Seth Joyner, I heard that too. I would take him in a New York second. I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get it. I think he should get it. And if he doesn't, Howie Roseman should be accountable for this. You got to get somebody on the radio said they would take him to play linebacker right now.
I would.
That's fine.
Over the linebacking crew we already have, I would. Guarantee
Brian Dawkins would be a great defensive coordinator.
How do you know, though? Sometimes that doesn't translate from on the field to up in the box or on the sideline.
Because he was a leader on the field, Tom. I'm telling you. He had great coaching by Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson coached him. What?
How come he hasn't done it? Yeah. Well, Jim, I'll two separate points. Let me stick with this one now.
He's probably enjoying freeness, like being free. He's enjoying his freedom. But he's going to come around.
Could be.
Howie Roseman needs to do this. Howie Roseman needs to get former players to come in, players that we love and adore, the fans.
But Will, who would you pick?
Trustworthy.
Which person would you pick to replace Doug Peterson?
Man, this is as quiet as this show has ever been.
Bill, it's I don't know. I can't. I don't know. Joe.
And I said
probably.
And I said this.
A former player.
And I said this. This was my argument about Brett Brown. I said, which person are you going to bring in to replace Brett Brown? We brought in Doc. Okay. So everyone's calling for Doug Peterson's head. So now I'm asking the same question. Which person do we bring in? And I mean, because that's the only fair question. If Howie's going and
the
Doug's gone,
the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. How about that? He runs the football.
You know who the Buffalo Bills head coach is, right?
McDermott, right?
Yeah, you know where he coached, right?
Yes.
Here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
And you know what person he was a disciple of, don't you?
I want
Jim Johnson.
Yep. Jim Johnson. There you go. See? There it is. It keeps coming up.
So, all right.
That's
So let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. The question that you posed, Joey, GMs, owners have, under normal circumstances, have an off season to make this decision. They'd have an interim head coach if they fired him sometime during the season, but then they have an off season to think about this. Why don't you give Will and I a week to think about it, maybe do a little research and come with maybe 3 candidates, or one, third to first, how we would see. I'll do some research this week and I'll give you three potential head coaches if, God forbid, Doug went. Let's move on to. So we've talked about the draft and we've said draft this person, draft that person. Now Al said he bets. Here we go. He bets $10. They trade back a few spots for more picks. Would you be opposed to that, or you want to stay at 6 to get the best possible pick?
Trade back.
I stay at 6 because you got really good talent there, man. You're going to get a really good player, dude. You're going to get a player where people it's going to sell. That player's going to sell jerseys.
That's nice, but that's not winning.
Talent.
That's not winning football games. I don't give a damn how many jerseys they sell. If they ain't winning football games, you don't mean dick to me. Here's the thing. I said
want that 6 pick. Put it that way. It wasn't for to trade. It was to use it.
I said this once before. If this offensive line is as inadequate and putrid as it has been next season as it was this season, getting a Devontae Smith, right? Getting Devontae Smith. How is Devontae Smith going to excel on this team if we can't get the ball to him? If Carson can't throw the ball to him? I mean, he's not going to excel if he can't get the ball. I mean, you have to have time to throw the ball. I mean, we've seen inadequacies. We led the league in quarterback hits, quarterback sacks, and turnovers.
Surtain, the cornerback, Surtain. That's a good
haven't we
too.
gone down this road before, Sidney
That's
Jones?
That's a guarantee.
I'm
that's
just saying.
Great pick.
I'm just saying.
Good pick for us.
Didn't we go down this road before?
Sidney Jones, they went high on him. They took a chance.
I knew you were going to say it.
Are you willing to take the same chance on Patrick Surtain II? Like, are you willing to do that? Because
no, I want Devontae Smith. I'm telling you, what if they go that direction?
What if they
did that? What if you're sitting there draft night? You're watching TV. This is what a lot of people don't think about. What are you thinking about, Al? I want to know what you're thinking about. You're watching the draft. You're there, 6th pick, and they draft Surtain. How would you feel? That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's a bust.
You would be pissed? Would you be really mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be upset. I'd be upset.
Because I think Surtain
I'll sign a free agent. I'll let some of the young kids play again. You know what I'm saying? I need offense for my quarterback.
So with the sixth pick in the 2021 draft, you don't have to give names. We'll get into that when we do draft breakdowns and stuff like that. With the 6th pick in the 2021 draft, Joseph Marks, William Lynn, Al Zafari, James Frattoni, Deal, anybody out there that wants to chime in. With the 6th pick in the 2021 draft, the Philadelphia Eagles, if you're the one making the pick,
Trevor Lawrence.
Position? What position? You don't even have to give me a name.
I'm going to be gone. Jokes. What position?
What position?
I would
think about the team. Think about all your needs on this team. O-line. Kelsey's probably going to retire. Jason Peters may retire. Brandon Brooks and Johnson are coming off injuries. And then you have the revolving door of other linemen that have been on this team. Out of 16 games, they had, 13 or 14
Brooks
games?
is going to be good. Brooks is going to be good. Brooks is good.
No,
Brooks
I know all of that, but I'm just giving
man.
you the examples. Your O-line, your corners, your wide receivers. Everybody's saying running back, but you have Miles Sanders. You might not go with the 6th pick in the draft for a position like that. You usually wouldn't.
So with the 6th pick, I'm handcuffed to make a selection in the 6th pick. For a position. Okay.
Yeah, just give me a position. You don't even have to go name right now.
Linebacker.
Wow. With the track record of this team,
wide receiver. I'm sorry, wide receiver. If Chase is there, Chase is mine. And if Devontae Smith is there, mine. And then guess what? If it's best player, what if Trevor Lawrence is there?
He's not going to be.
No shot.
What if he was? What if he was? What if he was?
He could fall off a turnip truck today and be in a body cast and he's still going in the top 2.
I'm hearing Mel Kiper Jr.
I think he's going number 1. I think he's going number 1. I think he's
how many discussions can you throw a turnip truck in? Yeah, this guy right here, turnip truck.
But what'd you know? That's my question. It's just a what if. What if he was there?
Trevor Lawrence was there?
Would you just say screw Wentz?
Joe, take the reins on this one, Joe.
Trade them both. And draft Trevor Lawrence.
If for some reason he falls to 6.
If he falls to 6, I would take him. I'm more of a Justin Fields guy, but that's just me.
Why?
No, this Trevor Lawrence kid's got it, dude. He's got it. I feel like he's a winner, man.
Well, I feel like Justin Fields is more athletic. Justin Fields actually just beat Trevor Lawrence. So,
they said Carson Wentz was more athletic, and look what he's done. So
that's true. They did. That's all they talked about.
A knee injury will take a lot away from you. Your ankle, you're not as athletic as you used to be.
Trevor Lawrence is an exciting bowler, dude. He bowls. He's
Thanks,
not boring. He doesn't have that boring.
That insight,
Carson Wentz screams boring. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Lawrence.
He did. Wait. Whoa. Carson Wentz screams boring. You and I usually get along fairly well on these shows.
Now he does. But this year, Tommy hasn't done it. He hasn't done it.
He was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. He was the most hurried, rushed quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to come down to look at your decimated O-line, 13 or 14 games out of a 16-game season. You had a different lineup. That's going to take its toll. And in this last game, even though he got pulled prematurely, if he should have been pulled at all, Hurts was looking human too. Once they get tape on you, then it comes down to your skill and your attention to detail.
Well, it's also about adapting to the situation. If he can't get better, then you said this yourself.
Even
Tom.
when he's Carson Wentz isn't
he's
boring.
not too much pressure. Tommy's right. No, Tommy's got it.
No
pressure on him.
He's not too progressing. He's regressing.
We should have never wasted that pick on Jalen Hurts.
Al Safari. Guns. If someone judged you on your worst day or moment, would that be fair? Or do you have to go by body of work?
Would it be fair?
Crickets.
Man.
That's a good one, Al. I'll give you credit there, man. That's a good one. Carson, this is his worst season by far.
I've had. He's right, dude. I've had my bad days too, where we get hurt and lose your job. I hurt my back and lost my job when I worked at the hardware store, and I can tell you right now, Al, you're right, man. It's no, absolutely not.
Somebody stamp this. Will tell somebody they're right. I need this January 9th.
You can't judge.
9:46 a.m.
I'm clipping this. I'm clipping this. Believe me, I'm clipping this.
No, it's fun, dude. That's Joe. You know it. You can't judge nobody. You can joke around and have an opinion about somebody, but nothing gives anyone a right to judge. So
well, here's the thing.
Personally, I wouldn't like to be judged about something. I'm not a judger. I don't judge people. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, definitely. How about if you replaced by someone having a mediocre moment? Exactly. It happens.
Well, wait a minute.
Was
Jalen Hurts winning?
I think Carson.
And wait a minute.
You should have drafted Jalen Hurts. I'm pissed off about that.
I want to respond to Al.
Hurts.
Will,
Carson
hang
Wentz
on.
should have been able to finish it up this year. I'm sick and tired of it, dude. You should have never drafted Jalen Hurts.
For once, I'm not coming at Will. I'm going to come at Al because I'm confused.
Boy. There we go.
Me and Al had this.
Al, join the Zoom. Al, just get in here, man. Just get in here. You know how to get in this. Just get in here.
It's hilarious.
But here's the thing. So is he talking?
I had COVID-19. I had COVID-19 the whole week. So right now I'm freaking pumped because I was looking forward to talking to you guys. Because talking sports to you guys, and now that Al's chiming in, this is awesome.
Let me get into this.
Awesome. He's got good questions.
Mediocre moment. Are we talking about Jalen Hurts being the mediocre moment? Because Jalen Hurts went toe-to-toe with one of the most athletic, most flashiest quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in this league today in Kyler Murray. He went toe-to-toe. He also won a game or two against a team that had the number 1 ranked defense at the time. How is that mediocre? No. But wait a minute.
Dallas defense stinks. Dallas's defense stinks.
Dallas. We're talking about
game. I'm talking about Hurts.
So am I. He went against the Saints, who had the number 1 defense. And he beat them.
The Saints, dude. That was
No.
He did beat them.
No.
But he couldn't do shit against Dallas. He couldn't do shit against Dallas.
Al, I think you need to get in here and defend yourself. I think you need to get in here.
I'm saying
I sent you the link to your phone.
He said mediocre moment. Okay. How is it mediocre to beat the number 1 defense? How is that mediocre? That's
what
all I'm
mediocre
asking.
Moments he talking about anyway?
That's what I'm curious about.
That's what I'm curious. We need to hear from the man.
I want to know what he's talking about because
Joey's intimidating when he starts getting fired up. So I don't know.
Al's mysterious. I like it, Al. I like it, man.
He said, hold on, wait a minute. He said Jalen Hurts had a mediocre moment, and that's why he was saying.
Nice clue.
Right, nice but against who? Like, what team are you talking about?
He lost. He was 7 for 20.
So did Carson. So did Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz lost more games. Carson Wentz lost more. No, Nate Sudfeld lost that game. Believe me, Nate Sudfeld. Now, Tom, are you done with Nate Sudfeld? Please tell me.
Lost that game. Jalen Hurts played like shit. 7 for 20.
Al's asking questions. Here we go. One and 3 makes Hurts your guy now.
Yeah, opposed to what?
No way. No.
Opposed to what now? Opposed to what with Carson Wentz? What was Carson's record?
Hey, he had 3 wins this year.
Out of how many games?
3 times the amount that Hurts had, Joe. 3 times the amount.
And he played 3 times the amount of games, Tom. You played 3 times the amount of games.
More than that. Yeah, about 3 times. You're right.
I mean, come on, man.
Oh my God, man, that's insane.
I mean, come on.
That's insane.
You're gonna sit here and tell me
go through.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that he went. Wait a minute. You're gonna tell me that that him having a mediocre moment against. I thought the screen changed. I thought Al was
mediocre moment sounds like most of my life.
Sounds like most of my childhood.
Yeah.
All
right. The main thing is Joey. He looked great against Arizona. I was like, wow.
He looked good against the Saints.
He looked great against. He had a great game against the Saints. Great game.
Yeah.
But the Saints didn't.
Yeah, you literally have nothing going into next year. I don't have an answer for Hurts and Wentz, like Hurts or Wentz, I should say. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, you don't need to though, because they're both on their contract. So why do you need to have
you shop?
Because you got to have a quarterback starting September whatever next year.
You start Carson until he doesn't play well. I mean,
it's all about what Jeffrey Lurie wants.
Are you going to take a $35 million hit just for the sake of doing it? Just because?
No, Hurts would have had to go 4-0, get you into the playoffs, in my opinion. Maybe win a first-round game or a wild card game.
I'm saying, are you still going?
You know what I said, Tom. Tom, remember I said if he won every game, I said,
you did.
And then you have a quarterback
controversy.
He didn't make it. So I don't even think there should be a controversy.
I didn't think there was to begin with. Team. I didn't think there was a controversy to begin with.
All these other jackasses out there that believe in making Hurts your starting quarterback and somehow trade him Wentz is asinine. It's asinine.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Just by being a GM, not by – you can't go with your heart all the time because that's what fans do. These tend to be fans' opinions. But to be a smart GM in this situation, you keep Carson Wentz, and that's it.
Would we all agree –
to blow all that, to just blow
would we
all
all agree, Will, would we all agree that Jalen Hurts is talented? Even as the backup, he's a talented, athletic quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, so then why do we have to force the issue that he's got to be the starter next year? No one is. Everyone's presuming that we should, but
I think Wentz deserves another shot, man. That offensive line, 13 different combinations.
No, it's not the biggest problem. I've been saying that, Al.
Yeah, that's a great point by Al. All this shows is that the quarterback is not the biggest problem.
It's not the biggest problem. We're making it the biggest problem.
Right now, we're just we're having a discussion.
No, I understand.
It's an angry part. It's an angry part, yeah.
All of Eagles Nation, all of Eagles Nation is making a mountain out of a molehill.
And Al's right with this one, too. Not even top 3. It's not even the top 3 problems on the team.
No, it's not. Not even close. I wouldn't even put it in the top 5.
In order, before I would say anything about Wentz or Hurts, you would probably go Roseman, Peterson, offensive line.
And then I'd go linebackers and so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth. Absolutely. Even our special teams this year, which are always rock solid, our special teams this year were way subpar compared to previous years.
And they were supposed to be better this year than they've happened in previous years.
You're the owner. You're the owner of the Eagles. You're the owner. You're Jeffrey Lurie. This is a situation. What would you do if you're Lurie in this situation? Because he's very close with Howie Roseman.
That's what I'm saying.
They're very close. It's like me and TK. You and TK are friends. It's like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
So it would be like me having to let you go or you having to let me go.
Right.
But you got to be able to sit down too. You got to be able to sit down with that person and be like,
how many human beings can do that though? How many human beings can do that though? You know what I'm saying?
You got to be like, hey, look, I love you, but this isn't working out.
Lurie's loaded. But let me ask, did love winning that Super Bowl. It felt great for him because he's close with the fans. They said he goes down to the tailgates and shit, Jeffrey Lurie.
Well, let me put it this way though, Tom. Tom, didn't he go to a 4th of July? He went to a 4th of July tailgate. Didn't they say that? He goes down there. Jeffrey Lurie. He was on the show when they did that fan thing. Let me put it this way.
Where you meet the Eagles fans.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
If I or Will or even you, Tom, if we came on this show and gave one-word answers to every question that was put out at us, do you think that would make for good entertainment? And do you think
it would get addressed? It would get addressed really quick.
Right. and so that's the difference. When you're not doing your job properly, you should get called out into the carpet.
Yeah.
And I feel like
that's like Tom. You're Jeffrey Lurie. Tom is Jeffrey Lurie. So it's me and Tommy, between me and you. And I drafted Ortega-Whiteside. You would never let me hear the end of it.
No, but see, that's
us.
I don't. They don't have a. No, I would never let you hear the end of this. No,
but Howie, exactly. So you don't think that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman might be sometimes drinking tequila together because they're close?
What I'm saying.
And they had that fucking conversation.
There's stuff that we've done Yeah, there's stuff we've done drunk at parties that we still don't let the other person forget about. If I was the owner of the Eagles and you were the GM and you drafted Arcega-Whiteside, I would literally mail letters to your house. Like I would cut clippings out of magazines with his name on it and like stuff like that and just mail it to your house randomly. I would never let you forget it.
Like a ransom note. I have JJ Arcega.
You want to talk about holding people accountable? I would hold you accountable for the rest of your natural life.
And then now,
so Deal checks in, and he's going to go. Check this out. He kind of agrees with Joey here. You asked who to take off the. Who to take in the draft. Washington just proved that you don't need an offense to make the playoffs. Shore up your defense, and you start with what's that? Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Eagles need help at linebacker. Hey, Deal, I don't disagree, man. I don't know if I could take him at 6th though, with some of the other glaring issues that we have on this team. But in the same breath, yeah, I don't disagree. That's WCBB checking in there.
You know what we should do? We should do.
I mean,
Tom, you're gonna have the first overall pick, and we could do it between us. So Tommy gets first. Joey, I'll give you second. All right, I'll take third, and then we do it back to where I'll get the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Let's see if we can predict what's going to happen in this NFL draft. But don't just draft the player if you were that GM. Do what the situation shows already, and we could actually make a prediction what's going to fall to us at 6. If you could get inside those GM's heads, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe that's something we do next week.
Need quarterbacks. But we do our own draft.
I still stick to what I said. I still stick to what I said when we first started this conversation.
Yeah.
If Howie Roseman is here, it doesn't matter what we predict. He's going to go completely off book. That's just
because he's the smartest guy in the room.
Do you think he trades the pick away? Do you think?
I think he makes an asinine pick. I think he makes the most asinine pick in the last 20 years of the NFL draft at number 6. I think it's the worst number 6 pick in 20 years.
Joe, I like that. It wouldn't shock me.
That's crucial. That's crucial, Joey. What do you think the guy is? Come on, let's give this. Tell me what Howie Roseman drafts.
Howie Roseman drafts a kicker.
You're Howie
at number 6.
Joey, you're Howie Roseman. Joey, you're Howie Roseman now. You got the 6th overall pick. What are you drafted?
Well, I already said I drafted a linebacker.
Make the prediction.
Oh.
No, but
he's
going to be that guy?
No. He's going to – if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm picking the quarterback from the Dakota, like North Dakota, that I only played like one game. And so I'm picking him
There
because –
is a guy up there.
Yeah,
there's a guy from North Dakota.
He only played like one game.
Right?
Something like that. It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
If Howie Roseman picked that,
you have 2 Dakota guys.
You're making me have
2 Dakota quarterbacks.
Very
I would go kidnap Howie Roseman, joking, of course, and drive him to North Dakota and leave him there.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
2 Dakota quarterbacks.
One-legged kicker.
I bet you he'd be more accurate than Elliott.
He's I don't think we're getting Howie Roseman on our show, man.
All right, so listen. We didn't even get into
Fuck you, Howie.
A fraction of what we could with the Eagles. But let's before we wrap the show up today, let's jump into your Philadelphia 76ers.
Number 1 team in the East.
Will, what did you drop your phone, dude? You all right, man? There he is.
Nah, I just went to go get a nice cup of water, man. You got a
MTV Cribs. We're taking a tour of Will's house. So
you don't want a tour in this house.
this mine too. It's still destroyed from Christmas. So the Sixers are playing pretty good.
Outside of losing to the Nets, yeah.
Well, yeah, but
they're a breath. They are a breath of fresh air. That game, I think they were just tired, man. They had a stupid ass shootout that they could have destroyed the team and been able to rest their starters.
When
you're
they let that team
losing, when
your leading scorers
for 14 days.
when your leading scorer is Shake Milton,
Beal, though,
that says something.
You're not going to talk about that Bradley Beal performance?
Yeah,
Congratulations, Bradley Beal, you friggin' gunner. Jesus.
He's a Sixer killer.
My God.
He's filthy.
Yes,
and that's
he
why
is. He's going to, like, if you're playing DraftKings, make sure you pick Bradley, unless Ben Simmons sticks in next time.
No,
Ben Simmons might
I wish Freddie Burke was out there watching, man. Freddie Burke will jump right in on this Sixers talk.
I mean, here's the thing: is with the Sixers, I just worry about them being able to sustain the offensive explosion.
That was my question. Is this sustainable?
I hope it is.
Me too. Well, right now, because of COVID, and I hate to bring up COVID on the sports talk show, but it does make its way into sports.
I don't think the team adjusted to having Seth Curry out of there on that game, on the last game they played. So
he's going to be out for 14 days.
I think it had a little. I think their chemistry was off.
He
just gave him 28 points, and you drop him after they had all that chemistry and they destroyed, like they scored all those points.
Here's the thing.
In that lineup. He helped you win that game.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Seth Curry is stepping up way beyond what we anticipated, and it's such a breath of fresh air.
He is.
Because this guy makes his threes count, and that is something we didn't get with Josh Richardson. So
and then Embiid was insufficient against Brooklyn. He wasn't good enough.
Well, that's his Achilles heel, his kryptonite. Yeah, I know. And look, Embiid's not going to – that's the reason why I bring up sustainability, Tom, is I worry about Embiid's sustainability throughout this shortened season. 70 games is short in comparison to 82, but we had a shortened off season. And I think we're starting to see that effect on some of the teams. The Bucks aren't number one. I feel like they got hit hardest with the shortened off season. You got other teams like the Heat that are not up there anymore. You got teams that are like the Knicks that are in the play. If the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. I mean, the New York Knicks. So that's the difference. Is I think the sustainability of the Sixers is the most important part going forward, and it starts with the sustainability of Joel Embiid's health.
That's the key. That's been the talk since the process. I don't want to say started, but since you added a Ben and a Joe to the process, was sustainability due to the fact that injuries, and then they put those time restrictions on there. But Doc Rivers definitely found the key, I believe, to the spacing issue that was arising over the last couple of years. And he found it out real quick. It seems, anyway.
Well, it also thinks that I also think he's kind of
it helps that you
altering
don't have JJ Redick. It helps that you don't have JJ Redick no more.
But I think
that shit was getting old, dude.
It's also
him running around
fluid
screens and shooting it off bounce and shit.
I also feel like
he actually made more of those
shots. Guys that can stare down a defender and shoot. You got stare down defender players now. Curry was looking really good, dude. Curry was bowling really well. Tobias Harris was really well on the floor playing with him. So you don't think that didn't hurt that game either? When you don't have Seth Curry and Tobias Harris? You know what I'm saying? There's complementary players out there. Seth Curry's one of them, dude. Seth Curry is going to be really, really good.
Tobias played against the Nets.
Really good.
Tobias played against the Nets.
I know, but Tobias Harris didn't have Seth Curry on the court.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, when you have both of them, Danny Green, you have three. It's interesting because something got brought up in one of the broadcasts by Mark Zumov. And, it was that this Sixers team could become like the LA Lakers were with Shaquille and Kobe. You get that big guy that's in the center and get him down in the key and then have three-point shooters spread around the court. You allow that defense to have to crash the boards, and it leaves those three-point shooters open.
Yeah.
You had Robert Horry. You had those guys that would be – you could say the same thing kind of for the Bulls, but it wasn't a big guy. It was Jordan that was crashing the boards and then would kick it out to Kukoc or Kerr or whatever. And that was kind of the big difference maker. I think if
what they did, Joe, what they did back then, I'm
what
telling you right
hell?
now, it wouldn't work now.
So this is not Wally, or this is obviously my face, but our friend Wally Potter commented on a post on Facebook, and it was about the birds, and I wanted to bring it up because it was especially pertinent, and I just wanted to let him know that maybe we'll get into this next week. But he goes, topic to do a show on the Eagles' future that looks like in the next 3 to 5 years, front office, GM, coaching staff, player transactions, etc. I'm sure all you guys will have varying opinions, especially in the QB situation. Will it be Wentz or Hurts? Maybe next week. We'll dip into that. But Wally has tried to comment the last couple of shows, and for some reason they hadn't popped up. So I wanted to make sure that I got him on here. And said what he had to say. Getting back to the Sixers, and I apologize for interrupting everybody and kind of throwing things off a little bit. What I'm seeing from this team that was lacking in years before, in my opinion, is almost there's a bit of a killer instinct there that I've seen over the first dozen games, not quite, but over the first part of this season, is that they do seem to have a bit more. And when you do have defenders, shooters that can defend, you will have more of that killer instinct, have more of that fire lit under your ass, because when you're playing well on the defensive end of the floor, it makes transitioning into offense a lot easier.
Well, I've said this before. Ben Simmons needs to be more aggressive, and he has
absolutely been. Yeah. And it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that now. With the Sixers, with this whole Harden conversation that we were having the first couple of shows, and now you'll get like Jimmy Pagano, buddy of ours, Jimmy Pagano said, he asked me, he said, Tom, would you still want Harden here? And I replied, hey, I didn't say I did or I didn't. I just posed the question and shared a post. I don't think I would want to ruin any kind of chemistry that they are building, and that's what they're doing right now. And these first 8, 10, 12
right price, though, Tom.
Well, I mean, that's a given. If they're just like, hey, take this guy for nothing, well, yeah, the right price. But
Ben Simmons, it means it was just a big game. Last game was just a big game.
I will say this.
I don't even care about last game.
I
got to put it behind you. Forget about it.
I was pro getting James Harden, and up to now, I have felt like it's kind of a pick your poison. James Harden, if he loves your team and loves where he is, will play out of his mind. If he doesn't, he will implode your team. He will implode your team. He's proving that now. He's proving his
Didn't Dwight Howard used to be one of those implode your team kind of guys?
Right, but he used to be is the key phrase.
Right. No, but
James Harden
was real rumor though? Was that true?
No, that was legit.
Was that true though? Were
the Dwight Howard thing?
No,
it followed him everywhere.
James Harden? No, were we trying to get James? No, were we trying to get James Harden? Is that real? Is that confirmed? That we were one of the real teams in that? Okay, so what the hell could we have offered to get James Harden? Were we offering
Ben Simmons and 2
straight
first
years of first round picks?
Simmons and 2 first, I think it was.
I think that was what they wanted. They wanted Ben Simmons and 3 firsts, and that's
you got a guy that could easily. James Harden would kill it here. He would kill it. He would absolutely.
But he
would have a field day. He would be getting the ball. He would pass to Embiid more. I tell you that right now. I've seen James Harden pass it to guys in games and they miss it. His assists should be so much higher in the NBA, dude. Because a lot of his passes, when he passes to a guy
that took before 3, they should be so much higher if he tried to pass the ball, which he doesn't. Really.
No, he does, dude. I've watched a lot of TNT. No, I've watched a lot of games where TNT was always putting James Harden on, dude. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of times in the games, he passes that ball to a wide open guy. Guy misses the shot, man.
Because they're not used to him passing the ball.
Very rare now.
I hate to say it, Will,
it hurts,
Tom,
which is true. I
hate to say it, Will, but Tom's right and you're wrong.
Why do you hate to say it? No, you should embrace saying it. Embrace it.
It's because if you look at what James Harden does when he comes down court, he dribbles, and he shoots. He's a shoot-first guard. He's not a pass-first guard. And that's just the bottom line of it, Will. But my biggest fear about bringing James Harden is that he'll bring that attitude that he's bringing to Houston right now. If he's not happy here, he'll bring that here. And I don't want that here.
Not right now. Not with the way they're playing. If they started this season 2-8 instead of 8-2 or 9-2 or whatever. Yeah. If they started the season in the opposite way in which they did, then now you're more and Ben's not playing more aggressively, and you're not seeing what you need to see out of these people that you brought in, out of the Currys, out of the Dwight Howards coming off the bench.
What could it hurt? What could it hurt?
Green. But
you're gonna tell me it would be exciting now. Wouldn't that be exciting enough? Listen, even if it did happen,
yes, of course,
and they got James Harden, and they did trade Ben Simmons, and that's what they did, it'd still be exciting. I wouldn't be the most pissed off guy in the world. I am not sold on Ben Simmons yet, to be honest with you. Still not.
Okay, but Will, would it be exciting if you're getting reports?
All right, let me ask you a question.
Would it be exciting if you heard reports that James Harden at practice was like really getting in on Embiid?
Defender-wise, he's a terrific defender.
Right, but
what do you mean by getting in on him, Joe? Expound on that a little bit.
Like he had reports that he was flipping off and getting really flippant with teammates at practice.
Why though? So because my answer to that question, which I think it's a good question, but my answer to that question would differ depending on the reasons why. If he's flipping out on teammates because he's not seeing enough effort from them, that's one thing. If he's giving them a hard time because he feels like he should have gotten the ball in this play or that play, or they didn't pass him the ball enough, or he didn't have it in his hands, then I would say that's an issue. But if you're giving attitude and you're giving pushback,
spurts.
Yeah, but if you're giving pushback because other people aren't trying hard enough, that's one thing.
You know what I think it might be? Because he goes on these spurts where he can score 8 straight points like it's nothing and actually help his team out. But then he goes on spurts where his offense is not doing anything. And then he gets to the foul line and he doesn't shoot well at the foul line. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ben has so many liabilities and a lot of strengths too. But I'm sorry, but he needs to get more consistent. I don't want 15, 8, and 8. I don't want.
I will take it every time.
8 and 8. I don't think that. I won't. I'm sorry. That's not going to win you a championship, bro.
From a
Anthony
number 1
Davis
overall draft
and
pick.
LeBron James stats are better than that. Are better than that.
If the 8 and 8, if the 8 is 8 assists for 3-point shots, that's 8 3-point shots. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's if yeah.
Multiply 8 by 3.
Not as my number 2, man. Not as my number 2.
That means if he's got 8 assists and all 8 assists are 3-point shots,
that would make me this. That would make me. Yeah, and then he has games where he has 11 points. 11 points,
right?
7 rebounds.
If he can,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
No, let's stop with this.
When he has a bad game, he has a bad game.
Let's stop with this Ben Simmons hatred, and let's put Ben in the box.
Doesn't he have a bad game, Tom? It's horrible. You're number 2. You shouldn't have that.
Okay. Oh my God, number 2, number 3. Okay. Well, let me point this out. If he's getting assists and he's getting close to triple doubles every time, you're going to sit here and tell me that there's a player on every team that can do triple doubles like that. Like that.
In today's NBA, there's a lot more players that have that capability.
On every team. On every team.
There are.
On every team.
Harden's not one that's able to do that.
Right. But I'm saying on every team, there's one. You're saying that there's one player that can always give you a triple double.
No, there's players. I'm saying that in today's NBA, there's more players with the capability to have more triple doubles.
You know how many pointless rebounds I've seen? So stop with the triple doubles. Ben gets lucky. He's 6'10". He's a point guard that runs down low occasionally when he has to get a rebound. You see how many dumb fucking rebounds he gets? That it's just right there, right in the bread basket.
So if we're going to discount that,
Ben, there was 3 other Sixers there.
So wait a minute. If we're going to discount rebounds and that's that, then why are we putting more other stats?
Ben.
What the hell's the point? I mean, come on, you're being ridiculous.
Because you can't take Ben's rebounds away.
Why? He's getting them.
Why? Why is right? Why would you take them away?
End of the year. Ben Simmons gets 17, 4 rebounds a game. So we'll go 17, 4, and then 8 assists. Would you take that?
No.
Would you take it?
But why? No, because I wouldn't take 4 rebounds because those rebounds could be offensive.
I've seen him get so many pointless rebounds, bro. I watch the Sixers faithfully, just like everybody else does. I've seen him
right, and I'm one of them too. And I will tell you this: that you're making
there. I hate the fact that some of the greatest players don't average 8 rebounds a game, and that's when you hear guys are just like, "Oh, well, that's a really good stat for Ben Simmons." Give me rebounds that matter. I see.
Okay, here's the thing. I love the fact that
stupid 3. And
I love the fact that you're going with rebounds and I mentioned assists. I love that you went to rebounds and I mentioned assists.
Because
I love that.
Assists they do matter. They do
matter. They do.
Assists do matter. More than rebounds. More than rebounds.
Do. Tell me more.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, but a rebounds can be offensive rebounds.
Assists. He's running the fucking point. He should get assists. He's running your point.
Right.
Come on now, dude.
What's
he number 1 in the league
average?
Defensive rating? No, he don't have that. Come on, man.
He's probably top 20.
If you're number 2 you're number. Okay, so point guards in the NBA. Would Ben Simmons be your point guard then? You're starting your NBA team then. You want to sit there and fucking defend them, Joey? Is that your point guard?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Come on. I like to hear your fucking answer.
Yeah.
That's your answer. Ben's your point guard.
Yes.
That's your point guard. Wow.
Yes.
You really
because you know what he does? Because
you
know what he does is he distributes the ball to the other star player.
Steph Curry's my point guard, bro.
And look where the Warriors were last year.
Nice to see Ben
And look where the Warriors were last year.
Watch a player play and pass up open threes.
Remind me. Where were the Warriors?
He's trying to lay up when he should be dunking.
No. Remind me, where were the Warriors? Where were the Warriors last year? What position did they finish? Oh, right. They finished like second to last.
Injuries.
Oh, here we go with that excuse again. Come on now. Get over it.
Injuries are important in basketball.
They're important in every sport, but you have to adapt.
Injuries are important in basketball. No, not like basketball, bro. Not like basketball.
You gotta remember.
Very important. But you lose your star. You lose a star.
Right.
You ain't winning no NBA championship.
And we saw what happened to the Sixers. We saw what happened to the Sixers when Ben Simmons got hurt, didn't we? We saw how inadequate and putrid the team looked offensively when Ben Simmons got hurt, didn't we? We did. We saw.
But if you gave them time, they'd play a
gave time.
Game.
Give time.
Because
you have a superstar.
You don't have to respect him. You only get you don't.
No, you have to respect him. You have to respect him because he can make you
3-point line. You don't.
Right, but that's just one aspect. That's just one perspective of the game. That's not the whole game.
I've seen him fucking miss. I've seen him throw a bricks, dude, and bad shots this year already. I'm sorry.
I've seen him do the same thing.
A lot.
I've seen him do the same thing.
He can't shoot.
And B does the same thing.
He can't.
He doesn't need to if he's doing other things.
I don't care.
Good for you, but you're still wrong.
Practice, but during the game, he can't shoot. He can shoot in practice.
He doesn't need to.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll stop talking smack now. Before we wrap the show, I did get a question unfortunately it just says Facebook user. I wish we could get a name of what person asked this question. But they did ask.
Stalker, probably.
No, not at all. Hey, fellas, sometimes people just don't. There's a button to click that allows your name to be seen, and some people forget to click it or don't click it. Hey, fellas,
okay.
who do we like in the wild card games today? So I'll hit you with the Colts and Bills. Who do you guys like out of the Colts and Bills?
Bills.
I think the Bills are going to bowl out. Yeah, I think that kid's on fire.
13-3, looking good.
Josh Allen.
Looking good. I'm going to go Colts. I'm going to go Colts today. I think Frank Reich moves on. I'm going to take the Colts since he's both.
You think Frank? Oh wow, interesting.
Josh Allen versus Philip Rivers. No problem. Josh Allen.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe this is Philip Rivers' magic run. Maybe he goes on a magical run, Philip Rivers. But anyway, let's go to the second game. Rams and Seahawks.
No, wait. The home team's Buffalo. The home team's Buffalo now?
Yes.
Yeah. Then, Buffalo's going to win, Tom. Buffalo's definitely going to win.
That's fine. I respect it. I'm going to go Colts. Right, but so what about Rams and Seahawks?
Rams got a hell of a defense, dude. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to have a chance.
Are they playing in Seattle?
I believe they are. I believe it's at Seattle.
They might get dominated.
Yes, Rams at Seattle. I'm going to go Seahawks.
Seattle might get dominated.
I'm going to go Seahawks because
Seahawks are dangerous.
It's in Seattle. It's in Seattle.
Yes.
If it's in Seattle, definitely Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to say Seattle.
Well, remember, there's no 13th man, so this doesn't come down to that. I don't know what their COVID, rules are in the state of Washington, but all right. How about Buccaneers and the Redskins? I'm sorry, and the football
team. Buccaneers, definitely.
That shouldn't even be a question. I'm not putting it against Tom.
I think we all go. I think we all go Buccaneers, except for our friend Deal, who's on here, who's a big Washington Redskins fan. All right, so that was today's games. I'll even give you Facebook user. I'll even give you our picks on Sunday's games. Let's go. Now here's a fun one. Ravens and Titans. Ravens at Titans. Both 11-5 coming into the playoffs. Who do you like out of the Ravens and Titans today?
I got to go Ravens.
I think Derrick Henry has like 250 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. And
I think Derrick Henry has a big day today.
The Ravens. And
so we got Titans.
They destroyed the fraud that Lamar Jackson is. The fraud.
Deal checks in, says watch for the upset for the football team. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get back in. So we got Bears and Saints. I think everybody at Saints. I think everybody's going to go Saints in this one.
I'm going to go Bears.
Defense.
Okay.
Nicky 6.
What about you, Gunn?
Is Drew Brees playing? I
think he is. I
believe
he is.
That's important.
Because I know they were trying to save him for the playoffs.
Yeah, I believe Brees is playing.
I got Nicky
Saints, definitely.
Nicky 6.
Nicky 6. And then for the last game on the docket, your 11-5 Cleveland, not your, but the 11-5 Cleveland Browns at the 12-4 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, Will, I'm going
Steelers all day. Steelers all day.
I'm going Cleveland.
Steelers all day.
What? No, Will, don't do it.
Cleveland's
don't
got
do
too
it.
many guys out for the
No.
COVID. Joey,
no.
I haven't been totally up on their COVID news. That's a good point, Will.
Will, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Joey,
this is your team.
The team's got COVID.
Oh, don't do
it. It's a full Cleveland healthy game. And Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh's not good enough to beat this great Browns team. But unfortunately, you can't do it. They're going to.
How often do you get to use those words in a single sentence? Great Browns team.
I'm going Cleveland.
They are. They're a great team.
I'm going Cleveland too. Well, look, that's all the games that are on the docket.
Go Cleveland. No, but I would only go Cleveland if that COVID thing doesn't they have a lot of players out.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Well, listen, before I want to get into before we sign off for the day, I do want to throw a couple things up here. So let's start out.
It's Cleveland, dude. They're going to get screwed. All right, Tom, go ahead.
You got it. Fantees.com. 20% off if you use the Edge of Philly promo. Obviously, you can see from the graphic up here, they got tons of shirts. And if you're a Philly sports fan, there's a lot of these that are must-haves. To go along with that shirt, why don't you get yourself an Edge of Philly Sports hat? They come in 4 different colors. I have the green and cream one, but there's black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. Let's go Flyers. So the show's on the network. Let's talk about these guys for a little bit. 2 of my faves, Bill Furman and Jimmy Chetchesko for the Philly Press Box Radio. Those guys are on Wednesdays. Love their show. They always have interesting guests, and it's a fun watch. I highly recommend it. And the same goes for the guys over at Bird's IQ, Eric, Kyle. They're always, again, we said they're either talking you off the ledge or up there about to jump off with you, depending on the landscape of the Philadelphia Eagles at the time. Of course, our EOP Sports Show with Big Al, Joey Sheeran, and Freddie Burke. And then the Broad Street Bullies podcast. These boys got a slew of guests coming up, and it's exciting stuff. They always bring the laughs, too, on their show, like what we try to do here. You know, we don't try and keep it super serious all the time, but they have guests Jamie Bascal from Flyers Nitty Gritty, Angry Jim from the High and Y Radio, Big Al from EOP is going to be on there, as well as Bill Matz. Bill's a great guy. We were on a different network on the same day, and we would always cross paths with Bill from SB Nation and Broad Street Hockey. Bill was just recently married too, so congratulations to him. I haven't talked to him in a little while, but along with that, got to go with the guys from Lax Philly, man. Kevin and Gary, there's nothing lacrosse that these guys don't cover and come across. So please check them out as well. And you know us, we're the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. We're missing Rob and James today. I hope everybody feels better, man, because it's it's crazy out there. But listen, for Joe Marks, for Willie Guns, for Rob Swavely, for James Scorza, everybody on the EOP network, I'm Tom Kelly. And we're signing off, man. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. And we will catch you guys next week. Be safe,
people. Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Safe.
Wear your mask when you're outside. Wear that mask.
All right, boys.
Later.